In this session, we are going to discuss about the linked list in Java. So this session is going to be totally practical, but first of all, we will discuss about the concept. Linked list implements the collection interface. It can store the duplicate elements. It maintains the insertion order and is not synchronized. In linked list, manipulation is fast because no shifting is required. So I will tell you, or I will show you that how manipulation is fast and what is the concept of shifting here. Okay, so here you can say, first of all, we discuss about the important points about the linked list. Linked list class can contain duplicate elements. It class contains insert, you can say linked list class maintains in certain order. Linked list class is non-synchronized, and in linked list manipulation is fast because no shifting needs to occur. Linked list class can be used as a list or a stack or a queue here. So now there are three type of linked list: singly linked list, doubly linked list, and the circular linked list. First of all, we will talk about the singly linked list. Linked list consisting of a sequence of nodes. Linked list consisting of a sequence of nodes where each node consists of data and a link to the next node that can be traversed from the first node of the list, that we usually call it head, to the last node of the list that we call it tail, and also is unidirectional, is called singly linked list. Here you can see the example. I have, you can say, four nodes, or you can say four objects in my element head, in which first element, you can say, that is 3 is the value, and next, this second part is actually links to the next node next, and it is pointing to the next node, which contains the element 2, and it contains a link to the next node, that is, you can say, next node pointing to the element 5, and we have a next node that is going to the point to the last node of the, you can say, linked list, the, you can say, tail here. So, and last element next reference point to the null. So you can say this is unidirectional. Now we have a second type of linked list, that is called, you can say, doubly linked list. Linked list consists of a sequence of node where each node consists of data. Each node consists of data and two pointers, namely the previous pointer to the previous node and the subsequent pointer that points to the next node that is part of the list. This can be traversed from the first node of the list to the last node of the list, and vice versa, means in the, you can say, both the directions, and that's why this is called doubly linked. Here you can say every node have two, you can say, data is there, like you can say we have the data in the node 3, then next, you can say, node we have the data 2, 5, and but every node contains two pointers, previous and next. Previous is pointing to the previous node and next is pointing to the next node. But if you talk about the first node, that is called the head node, previous point to the null, and if you talk about the last node, tail, in the next point to the, you can say, null, because this is the, you can say, this is the, you can say, doubly linked list, but you can say we can traverse from first node to the last node, or last node to the first node, we can traverse in any direction here. Okay, now we have a third type of, you can say, linked list, that is called circular linked list. Linked list consists of a sequence of node where each node consists of data and link to the next node, and the last node in the list, that is called a tail, that points to the first node in the list called as a head, is called a circular list. So here you can say in circular linked list, you can say that it is making a circle. It is making a circle, like you can say that from head, okay, I can go to the, you can say, from the head I can go to the next node, then we can go to the next node, then we can go to the next node, and at last the tail is again next pointing to the head node. So it is making a circular linked list. Okay, now we will see that we will talk about the functions of the linked list. So these are the common functions, like you can say add a particular element at the particular index, then we have add function, add first, add last, to get a particular element, to get the first element, to last element. So these are the very common functions which are available in the array list, as well as they are available in the linked list. If you talk about some important functions that are especially, you can say, designed for the linked list, that are, you can say, for example, peek here, retrieves, whenever you want to retrieve but does not remove the head element of the, you can say, list here. So whenever you are calling the peek function, it will, you can say, retrieve, it will return you the first element, at the same time it will not remove that element. If you talk about the peek first also do the same thing, you can say it retrieves the element but does not remove the first element. Okay, peek last is it retrieves the, you can say, it does not remove but returns the last element of the, you can say, list here. In the same way we have a poll retrieves the, you can say, do not remove but returns the first element. In the epoch poll first, it also return the first element. Any poll wrong returns the last element of the, you can say, list, and it do not, you can it actually removes it. So main difference between the peek function and poll function is that peek function return the element but do not delete, do not remove it from the list, but poll function retrieves and remove the element from the list also. Okay, so now you can say that we have a elast function which is used to retrieve the last element in the list, and now we have a function that is called sublist. This is also one of the good function, and the purpose of sublist function is that, suppose take the example, you have a list and you want to get a sublist from there, so you can give the previous index for starting index and you can give the last index. Last index in is not inclusive, means if you talk about that, it will return the element from index to the to index minus 1 here. So we will see this thing practically also. For that purpose, I have already, you can say, this class we have I have already created a program on the array list. Okay, so now first of all we will see that I'm going to replace the, you can say that, array list with the linked list here, and you can say that rest of the things are same. And then we are going to learn, you can say, other type of, you can say, functions here. So I selected this one. Now you can say, first of all, you will see that we have just changed the array list into the linked list and the program is running fine here. So everything is same, like you can say, insertion order is actually, you can say, maintained here. Now we are talk about some important function here. So for example, I'm going to show you that I can do one thing, list dot, you can say, we will talk about the important function, like you can say that peek here. So you can say, I told you the purpose of peek is that it does not remove the element but return the, you can say, first element or the head element. So you will see that I will call this function and I will store the element here. So I will store the element. I will simply say that int, and we'll say that, you can say, element ele, and this one, and I will do one thing. I will call this list 2 times. You can say, let me write 2 things here before. So I will print a message here before. Okay, and here I will do one thing. I before printed the list, and after, what I'm doing, I have called the peek list here, and then I'm calling the function after here. So you will see that it will return the AFTR, and at the same time I'll do one thing, I'm printing the list as well. After that, I'm going to print, you can say, list, as well as I'm going to print the element here. So let me do one thing. Let me make a proper, you can say, list. Okay, this one. And here also, let me print this list here. And now after, I'm going to print the element also, whatever element I have got it from the, you can say that, element element. Okay, and now let me run this program and you will see that what will happen. So you can see that here, before this was the list, and after, I can say that I retrieve the, you can say, I call the peek method. So peek method return the first element, of the list, and after that, when I'm printing the list element, no element is removed there. So this is the quality of the peek one. Now we have another method that is called peek first. Peek first is similar to that, you can say, peek, because it returns the same element, it returns the first element. Okay, so now let me run it. So you can see that same impact is there. And now we have a function that is called peek last here. So we have a function that is called peek last. And what is the use of peek last? Again, same thing. It do not remove. That is the quality of the peek function, that it do not remove. And but whenever you are calling peek last, means it will not remove, but return the last element of the return. So let me call it, and let me run it. Now you can see that it will return the last element. And what is the last element? Last element of my list is 5, so it is returning the 5, and list is again same, nothing is changed here. Now we are going to talk about the another function that is called, you can say, poll here. So first function is that is called poll. Poll means, what is that poll? You can see that I have specified the function here also. Poll means it retrieves and remove the head, it retrieve and remove the first element of the list, you can say that. Okay, so it means that if I'm going to call it poll, so you will see that it will return the first element, but after returning, it will remove that element from the list. So after removing the element, you will see the impact here. So now let me run this program and you will see the impact here. So you can say that this is my list, and after calling a peek, it retrieved the first element, After calling a poll, it retrieves the first element, and finally that element is also removed from the list. That's why you are able to see that it is starting from one. So this is the, you can see, use of the poll if you want to do this thing. And then we have a poll first. Again, you know that poll first means it will retrieve, it will do the same thing, it will retrieve the first element, but at the same time it will remove it from the, you can say, collection. Same impact is there. Okay, now only the difference is that whenever I'm going to call the poll last is that it is going to retrieve the last element, but at the same time it will remove it. So let me run this thing. So you can say that it retrieved the last element from the list, that is 5, and also remove that element from my list here. So you can call these functions. Other than that, we have so many other functions that are available in the list also. If you want to see that, I can show you the list of that one also. List dot, and you can say that these are the common function. Add, I have already told you that you can use that, how we can use the add function, integer and particular index we can define at the time of adding. Then all the functions are very common. You can say that I told you about these functions. If you want to get the first element, you can get the first element also, you can get the last element also. Okay, you can, or you can use the peak function for also. So you can say these are the similar. Is empty, you can call it. Iterator is called whenever you want to you can say make a traverse, you want to traverse the element. Otherwise you can use the you can say for each loop also, and that I've defined in my first video of the array list also. So all the, you can say, functions are mainly common here, you can say. And now I told you that the same you have you can say functions like, you can say, retrieve the element. We have a function like offer. So offer is also, you can say, add the specific element as the trail element of the list. You can add the element at the, you can say, last. So you have offer function for that. Otherwise, you know that we can simply use the add function for that. Then we have, you can say, peak, I've already told you. Then we have pop, and we have two more functions like, you can say, this is pop. So pop is actually, you can say that they are especially designed for the type of, you can say, concept like, you can say, that stack. Okay, so but here if you are going to call it, you can say that, you can see that pops element from the stack. It is especially designed to have a stack concept written by the list. In other words, removes and return the first element of the list. So again, I'm saying that pop is the number of the name of the function, but otherwise we have, you can say, we have a peak function, and you can say that we have a peak function, we have a poll function, and we can use the same thing with that also, right? So now you can say that these are the all functions from the, you can say, linked list. If you have any question, you can ask me the your questions and doubt in the comment of this video. And if you like the video, you can click on the like button. And if you have not subscribed my channel till now, you can subscribe it. Thank you.